So welcome to the ProWork video series. Today we are continuing the interviews we have initiated with our project consultants of this ProWork research project. And today more focused precisely on projectification research, as we have the honor and pleasure to have here Arvi Kuura. Is this correct? Which was one of our project consultants and is a emeritus professor at Pärnu College, University of Tartu in Estonia. And Professor Kuura is one of the pioneer researchers in project studies, having worked closely with reference scholars on this field, such as Rolf Landing. One aspect that we find very distinctive of his work is the way he connects the different disciplines and also making very parallels with jazz music. So thank you, Arvi, for being here with us and drawing on your experience over 3 decades of research in project studies. We would like to ask you, how do you see the evolution of this field of projectification research since it emerged roughly in the 90s?
Okay, thank you. I think that 5 years ago, I wrote an article that was to celebrate 25 years when the story started. I mean, this article by Christoph Miedler in 1995 in the Scandinavian Journal of Management, when he introduced the concept of projectification. And what has happened afterwards? Projectification, as many of you probably know, started from car production in France, the Renault company. But what has happened during almost 3 decades? Projectification has been observed almost everywhere, in all sectors, in all regions. This is, in my opinion, this is the main thing, what has happened with this.
Okay, thank you. So you see this evolution of something that was initially more focused on specific sectors and now expanding to different sectors of the economy. We also hear there are now some research also about projectification of society. You have also worked with these different fields, correct?
And of course, the levels, because it started on the company or organizational level. Now it's just, the distinguished also on the societal level and the level of individuals even.
Okay, exactly. Very well. So yeah, also this trend from companies to society as a whole and to the individual level of our lives, our leisure time, that is also being projectified and in different, yes. There's also a particularity of this field that has been mainly developed in what has been called as the Scandinavian school in Northern Europe, basically. And only later it expanded to other regions and other geographical and institutional contexts. Why do you think it has been this kind of evolution, starting from Northern Europe and to other parts of the world?
I am a lucky person because I have had the chance to work together with grand old man of the Scandinavian schools, Rolf Axel Lundin. And I believe that is, in the great extent, it's his impetus for this generated developments. I've been talking to Rolf many times, and he's a remarkable person. He has supervised 55 PhD students. Excluding the service, he has been a co-supervisor with even more. And he calls them his academic children. So I think there is already one more. Is Reinhard Wagner, who completed PhD 5 or 6 years ago or something like that. And also he has academic grandchildren. There are hundreds of them. And one important thing is that because this special issue of Scandinavian Journal of Management in 1995, this special issue included a number of very influential by Rolf Lundin and Anders Söderholm, also his PhD students in this time. And Scandinavian Journal of Management is also very important because it was also founded by Rolf. He was the first editor of this journal. And also he created the research network called IRNOP, it's the International Research Network on Organizing on Projects. And I think that this was the reason why there emerged that's called the Scandinavian School of Project Management. And what is the most characteristic thing about this Scandinavian schools that they look beyond project management. You may know there was a book in 2002 edited by Kristin Salin Andersson and Anders Söderholm. And this book was also quite important. It was a collection, and there were many articles that widened it, the approach, what was predominant in project management in the last century. And one important thing that I realized some years ago here that they made a clear distinction between management and governance. It means that there was a responsibility of the project management and there was a responsibility of project owner as the roles. I think those are the main things.
Yes, and also we see this expansion from a focus in managed studies to other disciplines and also more critical perspectives.
Because in 2015, with Rolf wrote a conference paper. Unfortunately, this is unpublished. And we compared two such kind of Scandinavian or Nordic school, because school of project management is called Scandinavian, and there is also then a distinguishable school in marketing called Nordic, because it's a relationship marketing. And then there were very interesting parallels came out, actually.
Okay, thank you. So we in the ProWork project, we are focusing on a few set of dimensions that we are organizing, analyzing these impacts of projectification of work on issues such as employment relations, division of work and how work is coordinated, issues related to labor control, knowledge and skills that also change in this context, issues related to work-life balance and impacts on health, and also workspaces that also have an impact on the way projects develop as an organization specific approach, and as you mentioned, social relations more broadly. So from your perspective, what would you say are the main impacts of projectification on work on this kind of dimensions?
Well, I believe that I'm not aware of all the developments what are going on, but I've got some feelings what is going on. Now, for example, in employment relations, there is the trend to more flexible relations. This is also going on right now in Estonia because Estonian labor legislation was recently changed. Is more flexible now. But of course, there is a tension between flexibility, what is characteristic of project work, and stability, what the employees are looking for. And it seems to me that especially the younger generations are looking for more this kind of stable relations. And of course, this leads them to thinking about the more secure employment forms, contracts, and so on. And of course, division of labor, because of precipitation, organizations become more decentralized, almost structures, and also the decision-making power. And it leads also some consequences like despecialization, because this is related to also to knowledge and the skills what the people have, because specialized people, they are called like eye-shaped. They have deep knowledge in narrow fields. But now the literature speaks about D-type persons, even the B-type. They have a wider competence also, because wider competence is needed for collaboration. To make people understand each other, because it happens when not very far people, let's say, like marketing and finance come together. They may not understand each other. And I have a great good example, because you mentioned that I have investigated what the jazz music has given. I did this work together with Inaki Sandoval, who is a Spanish jazz pianist. And some people have asked me how good did we work together. And because it was not very difficult, because Inaki Sandoval, this time he worked in Estonia. He was director of another college of Tartu University called Viljandi Culture Academy. And he was a manager. He probably he has not studied management, but he worked as a manager, and he understood. And how I could understand him, because it was also a very simple reason, because in my secondary school years, it was very popular to have forms as bands, and we had the school band, and I played in the school band, so I know something about music. But it was enough to work together. Of course, there are some other consequences also. For example, labor control. Current systems of labor control provide more autonomy, of course. It means less control and command from upper levels, but it causes also more self-control, even self-leadership among the employees.
Exactly.
And of course, there is a quite complicated issue. Is what is rather popular nowadays is work-life balance and the health issues, especially mental health. And I don't remember, but one project researcher called the project as mental prisons. Because there is sometimes it seems that social isolation may take place. And also this quite popular topic for decades, this project work is very often such thing where people overwork do over hours they are not paid or not the full extent as such thing happens. And well, when I was working with Naki Sandomaal, I discovered an interesting thing, what was probably impossible to discover otherwise. Because those authors they wrote about jazz music and organizational improvisation.
Yes.
They did not mention temporary organizations or projects, but I realized that they speak about this. And what they pointed out is the two trends is nowadays is classification and digitalization. And this will both lead to less self-regulation, it means less civilized behavior, and this may lead to organizational romance. It is our boss could be a little bit sex at work.
Oh.
I don't think that they have a very rich empirical data behind this, but probably they have noticed something like that. And yes, and I've been doing a little bit work in this space issues. And processification of work causes also basis. It means that there are usually rooms where people work together. I think this is open offices. This is where a mass of people work together. It's not very popular probably anymore. But what is characteristic is that in such workspaces, there are rooms when you can be alone if you need to concentrate. But there are also smaller or bigger rooms when people can take together to discuss some issues. But such kind of flexibility is characteristic.
Yes, the flexibility of work relations are also translated
Also
somehow
the
in
workspaces.
exactly of workspaces. So you mentioned this parallel with jazz as a metaphor of explaining and understanding project work. Could you tell us a little bit more about this, how these jazz processes somehow can be compared with project management?
Yes, because the work what we did together with Naki Sandoval, we studied what management disciplines have learned from jazz. And how I got this topic is that I've been dealing not only with project management, I'm somehow in the field of entrepreneurship, process management, even services. And what I noticed that all these fields have been jazzed. I just read the literature and find that not very often, but sometimes is mentioned. So
when you say jazz, you mean like more improvisation in management?
The main feature of jazz is, of course, is improvisation. And it seems that there are two main things, two main concepts what has been learned. The first thing is the minimal structures, because just minimal structures are structures that are still structures, but they allow improvisation, freedom from allow improvisation of freedom. And now important concept is aesthetics of imperfection. Because usually we think that beautiful or aesthetical is perfect, but it is not necessarily so, because what is very perfect might be boring. And this is what also is one learning from jazz, that if you listen to jazz musicians, they quite often make some mistakes. They will go very far from harmony, and it happens just. But it just makes this interesting. And there are.
And well, you think in project, you think in management or in project management, this there is also an aesthetics of imperfection.
Yes, because for my master students nowadays, she is a PhD student, Kaisa Radik, who wrote a paper. It was master thesis actually about aesthetics of temporary organizations. It was quite interesting. Came out. And what is nowadays is dispute which is a right or good way to manage project. This is traditional or agile, but there is a concept labeled disciplined agility. What is exactly was this about the minimal structures? There must be structures, but not more as needed. And I can mention one interesting thing, because related to Portugal. We discovered a paper. It was published in 2021. The paper was labeled Art, Culture and Paradox Pedagogy in Management Learning. It's the case of Portuguese Fado. And it's very sad because I think you may understand that my co-author was Spanish, and he was not very fond to mention Fado. He didn't think this is a good idea, but I was going to mention it, but we didn't, unfortunately. And in the work we did with Kaisa Radik about aesthetics, we discovered a related concept. This is most Brazilian. This is called gambiarra.
Gambiarra, yes.
You know what it means.
It's a very rich concept of improvising, basically.
Oh, yes. There is much interesting behind.
Yeah, I would like to, if you can later share with us this article about the Portuguese. Yes, thank you. Okay, so it's a very rich field of a metaphor to look at, to also inspire looking at these processes. We also, in our project, we are focusing on specific sectors to see how this trend is spreading across. For instance, our focus is on consulting and management, on research and development, collaborations between universities and companies in the artistic sector as well, and the social and social and solidarity economy. These are our fields. Do you also have approached somehow these fields or see different trends when looking at different sectors?
Don't know much about all the sectors you have investigated, but I don't know something about some sectors. No, for example, research and development cooperation. This occurs mainly by project networks. If you know that, then the book 2015, where Ralph Lundin was the first author. They distinguished three types of project organization: project-based, project supported, and project networks. This is was a quite interesting thing.
Yes, we are using that framework as well.
Yes, and last year I supervised a master student who did research involved artistic creation. And artistic creation is mostly, in a very great extent, process-based activity. And there is some quite interesting concept labeled artisol or opiate of creativity. It means that there is a huge personal commitment, and the artists are committed, and they do not think about the salaries, their work conditions. They just do what they are expected to do. But of course, it's not very good, of course.
What is the concept? I didn't understand.
It's artist soul.
Artist soul. Okay.
Probably this combination of artistic soul or like something like that. I don't even know where it's coming from.
Okay.
Oh, yes, and you asked about this social and solidarity economy. It's also in a great extent to this project-based activity. And in the beginning of century, for teaching purposes, I wrote a little book, and I mentioned in this book a specific category of projects labeled pseudo projects, because this pseudo projects are a project that is shown by projects, but in reality they are not projects. Because
that's very interesting.
Yeah. Because this is mainly because of finance, because there are a lot of sources, project-based, that finance projects, and the social sector is very concerned that what will we write in the next project application. We have used everything, what we have.
Yeah. That relates very much with our findings. We were also discussing what would be the best concept to use, because we were thinking about are fictitious projects or bogus projects, but then if you have already these pseudo projects, we will definitely go into your publication to go deeper.
Yes, and there is a very important link to social entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship sometimes.
Exactly.
This is probably somehow the way out from this circle.
Okay. You see the social entrepreneurship as a way out of this projectification trend in the social sector.
Over projectification on the social sector.
Okay.
Or even pseudo projectification sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. We see this very much in Portugal, where our case studies show precisely this, that they are project-based, but in reality, they are making the same project over and over again. Nothing changes. So actually, it should be framed differently as a social policy or with continued funding and not having to compete every year or every 2 years. Yes. Okay. So you mentioned in the beginning your article about 25 years of project research that are now 30 years. And just to finish, I would like to also ask you what future trends or directions do you see as you think are most promising for projectification research? If you can.
Yeah, I recall that it was probably in 2002 also that Johan Backendorf, also Swedish, so this also an academic child of Rolf Lundin, he wrote about the defense of permanency. It means that we still need permanency in our lives, in organizations need some permanency, and etc. And I think that the main issue will be the balancing of temporary and permanent. And there is also a theory I just discovered it some time ago, labeled balance theory. And balance theory, balance.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Balance theory.
Okay.
It is balancing temporary and permanent, but the balance theory is already more universal.
Okay.
And my opinion is that what we should look for is optimal level of practicization or practification. I made some years ago, I made a parallel with entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship researchers think that this is better as much people are going to be entrepreneurs. But there is a natural limit, because if all people will be entrepreneurs, it means total self-employment. So no one to have nobody to employ. It is all, of course, it is not optimal solution for economy or society. And my opinion is that there is there are optimal levels in productification also. And it means that there might be such kind of optimal project portfolios in all levels. It means in the macro levels, in meso level, in networks level, in micro levels, in organizations, and even on personal level. Because we can't carry out very big project portfolios. But very thin project portfolios are now also not good, because process our innovation and etc. And this is my opinion about this.
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah. I don't know, maybe if you can share the references you mentioned during our conversation. I can then add to the description of the video when we share it. I think many people would like to also have access to what you have wrote about jazz music, your reflection of these years of project research, your PhD, your master students, all these works that you mentioned. So, and I don't know if you would like to add something else before we close.
This was almost thought. I have a question to you, because just a week ago I was enjoying photo evening in Portugal. But one thing I didn't fully realize, what is the meaning of saudade?
Saudade. It means when you miss. It's a word that they say there is no translation in other language, or there are few languages that also translate directly this noun, which it's a feeling that when you are far away from something that you like very much, that you miss that person or that place or that atmosphere. That's a very specific Portuguese word. Do you understand the
I
meaning?
understood this is
A Portuguese
I think,
feeling.
yeah. Probably I don't understand this feeling on the full extent, but maybe
It
somehow.
also relates to Portuguese music, fado music.
Yes,
It's
yes,
all
yes,
about
exactly.
this.
Yes, yes.
That, maybe we can think about some parallels with, I don't know, with this kind of research. Yes, Arvi, thank you very much for sharing your insights, for being here with us. It has been a pleasure to having you with us throughout the work project. We will continue working together, and it was very helpful to learn with all this experience from you about on projectification. So thank you very much.